Hello, everyone, once again. This is Rob, and welcome back to Media Awareness and another album review. Before I get to that, though, a quick reminder that the fundraiser continues. For those of you new to my channel or unaware, I am a disabled individual, and I use a motorized wheelchair slash scooter all day, every day for my independence, and I need your help. My insurance will not cover anything with regard to my scooter as they view it as a quote luxury item end quote. Despite the fact that I am unable to walk whatsoever and unable to use any other type of powered chair or a standard wheelchair for that matter, as I only have primary use of one hand. Additionally, I do not have a backup or scooter or wheelchair, so if this malfunctions as it recently did, I will be a fish out of water yet again. Therefore, your help is really imperative at this point. Below the title of this video in the description, as well as in a separate section below that, you will find a spot fund link. It's easy to contribute, takes a few seconds. You could even contribute anonymously, and it really goes a long way. I'm endeavoring to refurbish my existing scooter and have parts available to do so, in addition to potentially obtaining a new scooter as well, as this is the type that works best for me. So, with all of that stated, please do what you can at the spot fund below. I am far from reaching the target goal, and due to the recent repairs I had to do on this scooter and had to pay uh, technicians to do, it set the fundraiser back quite a bit. So I need to recoup that as well as be able to save to obtain parts in addition to, like I said, potentially a new scooter, which would be ideal. So recently, I was actually a fish out of water. My scooter did malfunction, which is why this is so imperative. And you never know from day to day what's going to happen. And one day my battery just stopped charging, and it was not a big deal initially until it stopped going entirely. And I had to depend on my family and friends to get me around my house. And I am a person who strives to be independent. I pride myself on my independence, and although I'm not completely independent in my everyday life, I do take pride in the things that I can do. And having to rely on people for over 2 weeks was really traumatizing on so many levels, and I'm still dealing with it psychologically. So please do what you can at the spot fund account link below. It would be greatly appreciated. Even $5 or $10 adds up over time, and it could really make all the difference in the world. So thank you all. I do want to say gracious thanks to those who have contributed thus far, in addition to those who plan on contributing, as your contributions have and will make a world of difference in my life. Thank you all. I love you all. On with this review. So I've been looking forward to this album, and unfortunately, I was unable to get my hands on it for this review, uh, partially due to the scooter malfunction, actually, financially impacting my my means of acquiring anything for that matter, because it was really pricey. But my scooter, that is. So this CD, though, Powder Dry by Tim Bowness, um, was something I've been looking forward to for several months now. Um, and I've done a few reactions to some of his music on my channel, and I've been very impressed with material from this album. So I listened to it twice yesterday on the day of its release on the 13th of September 2024, and I listened to it twice today and on the 14th. And I made notes, so I'm going to pull them up I'm going to go through the tracks and I'm going to give you my take on this album as a whole once I'm concluded with going through the track listing. So, once again, this is Tim Bowness and it is the album Powder Dry. We start the album out with one of the singles, Rock Hudson, which is really, I think, written about the actor himself. It seems like, in my opinion. So I would definitely, if you don't know who Rock Hudson was, definitely look him up. He was a legendary actor, phenomenal actor, in fact, and was very misunderstood in terms of his personal life and how it came to the forefront toward the end of his life. So that's how this album opens up, though, with this track. We're then followed by another single that I did a reaction to, which is Lost, Not Lost. And it's a song that really, I think, sums up how we all feel at one point in time in our lives. It's sort of a reflective piece in that regard, but it's also a piece in the moment of sort of feeling that you might be lost at the moment, but you're not. So it's an interesting way of phrasing things, and I do love it magnificently. Uh, Track three is When Summer Comes, and this is a sort of mournful looking ahead while reflecting. And that's the best way I could describe it. It's it's beautiful instrumentally, but it's this sort of um, downtrodden look back while looking ahead. Um, and basically, I guess perhaps anticipating a repeat of the cycle, if you will. Um, Track four is Idiots at Large, and my notation for this is um, that the song itself has this really interesting, like, sort of soft spoken verses, and then this really aggressive sounding chorus, almost industrial sounding. And it really kind of catches you off guard, but it works in the context of the song itself amazingly, and really does an amazing job at really capturing this real intensity of the lyrics themselves. We then move on to track five, which is a stand up for the dying. And this song is just haunting. Um, Best way I could describe it, it's haunting. After that, we have an instrumental piece that is experimental, sort of ambient in nature, and that is called Old Crawler. It's track 6. Track 7 is Heartbreak Notes, and what I could get out of this is sort of reminiscing thoughts. Um, Best way I could describe what I'm getting from that piece. And We move on from there to track 8, which is Ghost of a Kiss, which is our sort of ambient backdrop with reflective lyrics and beautiful delivery from Tim on this one. Very, very impressive. We then move on to track 9, which is Summer Turned, and this track is sort of this it's a misleading piece in some ways. It's upbeat, very retro sounding, but at the same time, it has really almost unsettling lyrics. Um, the way that many vintage 1980s songs used to have a very upbeat delivery with um, lyrics that may not have been reflective of that particular upbeat tone. Kind of reminds me of that. We then move on to track 10, which is, let's see here, You Can Always Disappear. I love this track. Has an old time musical feel with beautiful, beautiful lyrics. And after that, we move on to track 11, which is Powder Dry. And um, it's sort of an introspective piece, in my opinion, with a chorus that is really filled with distortion and what sounds like guitar. I could be wrong. Track 12 is Film of Our Youth, and this is another instrumental piece. This one is ambient. Track 13 is This Way Now. Sorry. And this one is just lyrically absolutely brilliant and really beautiful at the same time. Um, Track 14 is I was there. I'm sorry, I was there. And this track could have been a single. I'm convinced of that. It really has that really catchy vibe to it and um, infectious sound. Um, and it has this very familiar sounding drum loop, but at the same time, the sounds that are used are really unique and within the context of the song itself. We then move on to track 15, which is The Film of Your Youth, which is just beautifully haunting. There's no other way to describe it. It is beautifully haunting. And that is followed by the final track, which is Built to Last, which has lyrics that are sort of looking back softly, I would say, or like looking back in a fond way um, on times gone by, and you're suddenly just hit by this abrupt, um, uh, abrupt, industrial sounding uh, cacophony of sound, and it is brilliant, absolutely brilliant the way it works. So there you have Powder Dry by Tim Bowness, and this album is diverse in nature. It is really a masterpiece in both sound and lyrical talent, and Tim's vocals are really, really powerful on this album, and they really showcase the lyrics quite profoundly as well. I do want to note a lot of these songs are like a minute or so long, yet within that time frame, there is so much emotion packed into these little chunks of sound and these short pieces. It's it's unbelievable how amazing this album is. I really can't recommend it enough. It is sort of a synth pop, industrial, ambient, experimental album. That's the only way I could describe it. And in all of that, it is really a brilliant masterpiece from Tim Bowness. And this is his newest album, available on K-Scope Records. Of course, it's available to stream. That's how I listen to it on Spotify. As I stated prior, I was unable to obtain a copy due to the scooter issues, but hopefully I'll have the means to get a copy of it soon. This is an album I definitely want to have in my collection, and an album that really has some incredible emotion and instrumentation, use of ambient sounds to create melodies. It's really a brilliant album, and there's just amazing production value as well as stated. It just sounds so rich and so pure, and it's really a testament to the talent and uh, there's different elements from different genres that all sort of culminate in this amazing piece of art, and that's the best way I could put it. And I highly recommend getting your hands on Tim Bowness Powder Dry in your choice of formats, wherever music is sold. This is Rob with Media Awareness, and I hope that this review was helpful to you. And I do hope that you will consider contributing to the fundraiser. Any and all help is welcome, and I mean that sincerely. And I will see you all again soon. Have a wonderful morning, noon, or night, wherever you are. Take care. Bye.